cow. Woo! Welcome back to the studio. What I have here is a big bucket of dry colored clay scraps, specifically colored porcelain. In this video, with this bucket of dry colored clay scraps, I'm going to attempt to organize, sort, soak, and recycle these colors. Obviously, with a piece like this one that's a bunch of red and yellow stripes, I can't break it up completely or keep it separate. So we'll just go with the flow. All right, enough talk. Let's get organizing. Let's see how this goes.
Safety first.
I also have this cool vent right up here, so I'll turn this on to get some dust out of the studio. So there's basically 4 groups of colored clay here. I kind of like a red-blue bucket here. I had mostly dark black in this bucket here. This is my warm colors bucket. Now honestly, there's color in this one too, but this is mostly white. And I got another half bucket of mostly white. Everyone asks me what I do with these. I've always bagged up the soft pieces and reused those. But when a piece fails, or you drop it, or the handle breaks off, or you just don't like it, or if you forget to bag something up, you're gonna have clay scraps. You could throw it away. It's not environmentally friendly. Give it a second life. Give it a chance to be something it couldn't, right? The thing too is it's not single separate colors, it's groups. So I'm curious to see how these colors will turn out when they're all mixed together. Honestly, warm water, cold water, I don't know if it makes a difference, but I'm trying warm water for the first time. Let's just fill it up. Sweet. Listen to that. That's such a cool sound. So it's been a few days since I poured the water in. Normally a few hours will do, but I couldn't get around to it then, so here they are. You can see the clay's broken down. And all but a few have a nice water layer on top, so I'll pour the water layer off, we'll spread it out. Now there's a couple of ways you can dry clay out if it's soft and wet like this. Obviously a plaster bed is the best way. Not everyone has a big slab of plaster, unless you're in like a community studio. This is one that I made out of a small plastic container. Anywhere from like 2 to 3 inches thick is good enough. Anything thicker than that is kind of overkill. I mean, you gotta carry it around all the time, right? Maybe you have an old mold laying around. Even if it's a plaster mold, the back is typically flat, great for drying out clay. A wood board works great. Any scrap piece of wood, the thicker the better, because the thicker it is, the more water can absorb. The first thing we'll do is pour off the water, as much as you can without pouring clay out in the sink, because that's not good. After that, because it's actually mixtures of color, I'm gonna mix it up a little bit so it's consistent. Then I'll scoop it out onto plaster or wood, spread it out, let it dry, wedge it up. All right, this is the smallest batch, so. This looks like purple. Gross. Poke some holes in it. I think you know how this works, so we'll just skip ahead. Check this out. This is extremely satisfying. Even these little peaks will help increase surface area for now. So I'll poke this one with holes too. It's still really soupy in the center. That's on the edge, and this is right in the center. All that's left is for these to dry out. I'm gonna use a box fan and let the box fan do the work. I almost forgot. Once these are dry, I'll wedge them up and we'll do some firing tests to see just what colors these are. Oh, we're back. I don't even remember what day it is, but here is what it looks like. It's difficult to manage the clay when you're gone more than half the day, but I was able to fold some of it up into mounds once it got a little bit drier. Had some casualties over here. Wedging montage? Beautiful. Good enough for now. So this is a great technique if you have soft clay and stiffer clay, or if the clay you have is so stiff that it's not workable but you don't want to let it dry or wait for it to soak up with water. Take some slip or some softer clay and use what I'm going to call right now the sandwich method. Square-ish. There's one, there's two. Cut as many slices as you can. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could do better, that's fine. Ideally, same amount as the other piece. 1, 2, 3, 4, that makes 5. I think you know where this is going. Just in case, we'll walk you through it. Layer one piece of dry, one piece of soft. Back and forth, back and forth. Whoa. Whoa. Whew. You can actually see there's different shades within those two batches alone. Whew, man. Clay is workout. All right, so we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4 cuts, 5 layers. So we had 10 layers. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 50 layers. Same thing. Woo! All right, so we had 50 layers right here. 1 cut, 2 cut, 3 cut, 4, we'll do 5 cuts. All right, math people. 1 layer. That's 50. That's 100. 150. 200. 250. 300. Holy cow. Woo! Nothing broke. Check this out. This is the one breakable thing, and it fell straight down. Holy cow. Yikes. Well, do I dare do some more of that? Yeah, I do. One, 2, 3 cuts. Do the math. 3, 6, 9, 1,200 layers of clay. In my opinion, this is way faster and easier than wedging, as long as nothing falls over in the background. So at this point, I feel like it's mixed up, so I'll split it in half again and wedge it up. After wedging up all the recycled clay, I wanted to know how much I actually had and how much money I saved. I had 31 pounds of that gray-white clay, 5 pounds of black clay, 3 pounds of that red-orange clay, and then 1 pound of purple. And initially I thought, gosh, that's really not worth it for 40 pounds of clay. But then I considered the colorants that were in there and how much those cost, and I started to think differently about it. You don't know what these are until you fire them. You could just wing it, but if you want to know ahead of time to do some careful planning, to make more specific designs, you're better off firing them and seeing what you have. I mean, I wing it sometimes too, it's cool. So 3, 2, 1. It's been about a week actually. Look at the studio. I've torn this place up making molds, making new clay. I've got a porcelain in the works. I'm really excited about it. So here's the tests. This is a nice black. Little JF stamp. Here's the purplish color. The red and blue mix to make this kind of, maybe like maroon. There's still swirls in there, you can see. Let's zoom in. So if I were to use this for something, I probably would wedge it a few more times. You can see swirls of red in there. Here's the red-orange / yellow. It's a nice, bright orange-red. Non-glazed. This is a clear-coated glaze. Actually, I love this one. So I think I would actually leave this as is before throwing it because I love the swirl. Clearly this could be mixed more, but it's like a storm. A dark gray with, there's hints of color in there. Yeah, this one's cool. You know, I take back what I said earlier. With these colors that I use, you know, the red or the black, or especially reds are pretty expensive mason stains. I have clay down here. I don't know where to put my hands right now. When I mix up a big batch of red, like a nice condensed red, like a rich red, I put a pound of mason stain into 12.5 pounds of clay, roughly. And a pound is about 20 bucks. It might be, if it's like a bright yellow or even like a really specific red, it could be even $40 for a pound. So if I have 5 pounds of that red or 3 pounds of that red, that could be 10 bucks right there. My point is, I think it could be worth it, especially if you're recycling heavy quantities or heavy ratios of mason stain to clay. I kind of want to throw with this. I promise I will not make a twisted tumbler. Unless you're not sick of them, then I'll do some more of those. Let's go throw! Awesome. I made this video for 2 reasons. One, I couldn't find it anywhere on the internet or even research or even websites, and I just wanted to do it and try it myself. So if you found this useful, if you learned something, give this video a like or comment below so others can see it. I take it back, like I said before, I do think it's worth it, recycling colored clay. If you have high concentrations of mason stains in the clay in the first place, like 10% values of color, that money adds up. And these colors that I have, I would have never made these myself. So recycling colored clay is worth it, in my opinion. And if you like doing things yourself and saving money and reduce, reuse, recycle, then I would do it. Now, if you're gonna try recycling colored clay on your own, I have a few tips and tricks for you. The first trick or tip is to keep them separate from the beginning. I spent a good 5-10 minutes with a bunch of dust separating, red, blue, and orange, yellow, red, and then all the gray and whitish clay. I could have saved myself a lot of time by just putting mostly white clay in one bucket, dark colors, light colors. And second, related to that note, is be okay with a lack of perfection. You won't get all the blue clay separated from the red clay or yellow, whatever, but like I just said, dark colors, light colors, or warm colors, cool colors. Maybe decide, like I did, white, black, warm, cool. I got 4 batches of clay, 4 colors I wouldn't normally have, and now I have cool colors to try things out with. Question for all of you, have you ever done this before yourself? Have you either recycled colored clay or recycled clay on your own at your home? I'm curious, how much did you recycle? I had a pretty decent batch, I say, for home. Anyway, you guys are awesome. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.